And you guys are live.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to East Hampton Village Board Meeting. Today is May 21st, 2021. If we could stand for a Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll begin the meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. All right, so we're going to start off. I have a couple of announcements to make, and then we'll get into the agenda. We have a lot of things to cover today, so let's get started. Let's start off with Billy. Could you give us a quick update with the pond?
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of the board.
Good
The contractor, Patrick Bistrian, is removing the temporary Spline road. All the excavations have been completed. The total tally of material removed is going to be determined when the final as-built survey is completed, but we're looking in the range of about 7,500 cubic yards of material that's been removed from the site. And we expect the Spline road work to be done before the holiday weekend. And then we're hoping for Mother Nature to help out and fill the pond back up with water.
That's great. Is there a plan, Billy, to use the well to fill it?
Yes, we could turn the well on. We have options for, if we don't have a good rain event, we have options and alternatives to help it along and fill it up. Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Billy.
So it's going really well, and it was a good, successful project so far.
Yeah, it's going to look great once we have water in there and be ready for the big holiday.
Yep.
Chief Terza, could you fill us in about the Memorial Day Parade now that the governor's opened up the rules?
Yes, sir. So after 468 days of dynamic restrictions, we're going to be able to, the fire department's going to host a Memorial Day Parade beginning at 10 a.m. Step off at the corner of David's and Main Street. We'll terminate at the Hook Mill Green, where we will have a memorial service. There's a lot of people that have put in a lot of work in the last few days. Typically, this kind of parade takes 3 to 4 months. We're trying to do it in about 10 days. So Chief Tracy and his department have been instrumental, as well as the village administrator. And we're going to be back in business. This is a great step for us.
Terrific. Thanks, Chief. Chief Tracy, are you on? Chief Tracy.
Yes, I'm on.
All right. Could you fill us in about the new governor's COVID rules and also the paid parking rollout?
Yes, as we know, the governor has loosened the regulations on those who have been vaccinated. They're no longer required to wear masks in public. We recently just went over the regulations with restaurants and businesses in the town the other day. And one of the things that we're putting out to people, the businesses within the community have a right to require persons entering their establishments to wear masks. That does remain in place. If a business chooses to allow people to come in without masks, in theory, vaccinated folks, that is allowable now. That's the significant difference. So if people are going to go into establishments, they need to realize that the owner of the establishment has an absolute right to require the wearing of masks. And again, the outdoor events, that has been loosened up, and things are pretty much returned to pre-COVID rules regarding those outdoor events. On the parking issue, we had a lot of questions regarding parking because of a lot of media coverage. We put out a flyer this morning to all our businesses and local residents within the Central Business District. The parking in the village has remained the same this year as last year and previous years. Parking is still free in the parking lots for 2 hours. It is still free 1 hour on the street. The only change has been that we have added a third hour of parking free to residents, but it may be purchased, if need be, by non-residents. We've put mobile app signs up in the lots explaining how that works. And that third hour, someone just goes onto the app, follows the instructions on the app, and they'll be able to get that third hour. It still remains to be seen how many people will take advantage of the third hour, but I think it was a service that was a long time coming. Many people would want to go to a meal and a movie, and because of our parking regulations over the years, that was not possible. So again, that option is there. It is free to village residents. There's a small fee for non-residents to use the third hour. That's basically it. All the other regulations in the central business district, 30-minute zones, 15-minute zones, 2-hour free parking, 1 hour free parking on the streets, all remains the same. The only other change would be up in the Railroad Avenue, long-term parking for the railroad, and on Lumber Lane, that has been added to the railroad parking area. There is a fee for railroad parking now in the 7-day area and in an area along Lumber Lane. And that's basically where the app is going to come into play. Obviously, for the police end of the app and the parking rules, at the beaches, we will be able to scan the beach parking permits much easier, very fast. And we're looking forward to that, getting that underway this year, to be able to basically scan those beaches within 30 minutes rather than have a person walk around each car as we have done in the past. So that's in its early stages now. We're testing the system now. We're fine-tuning it to make sure that we don't have any errors, make sure that we don't issue any tickets that are not accurate and approved. So that's really where we are today.
Terrific. Thank you so much. I just have two things. One, the Main Beach Chowder Bowl will be opening this weekend. We're very excited about that. We have new proprietors up there. Susan and Amanda Seacamp are running it, and they are calling it the Beach Hut on Main. So they have a lot of exciting things. They'll be doing breakfast, lunch, dinner. So they're opening this weekend, and we hope everybody will go up there and take advantage of that. The other thing I'd like to announce is that last year was East Hampton Village's centennial, which was postponed because of COVID. And now that the governor is opening up all of the restrictions, we are planning to have the event this September 25th, which happens to be a Saturday, which will be terrific. And I've asked Sandra Melendez to head up that and get that underway. So if any board members have suggestions or recommendations, please contact her. I think it goes for the same for the public. If anybody has any recommendations of what you'd like to see on that special day, please contact Sandra. All right, that's all I have as announcements. We're going to get into presentations. The agenda has it as Hugh King first, but I'm going to move things around because we have some special guests waiting. It's the East Hampton Elementary School second grade class. Christine Eberhardt is their teacher, and she was so kind to contact us and wanted to put the kids on. They have some recommendations and suggestions for us. They've recently visited Town Pond and met with Del Cullum and Billy Hayjack, and they wanted to address us about what they saw and what they'd like to see moving forward. So Christine, you're on.
Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited. I would like to just also make a point to say thank you to our school board and our principal and assistant principal, Karen Kunith and Russell Morgan, and our assistant superintendent, Adam Fine, and our superintendent, Rich Burns, for allowing us to go on this field trip. It's been a difficult year for the students, and allowing us to walk and go there was fantastic. And the village police with Mr. Jack and Officer Sperber really helped us get there safely. So thank you so much for all of that. And I'm going to step aside and let the students take over because this is all about them. So we've got our letters, and then feel free to ask some questions if you'd like to.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, our second grade class visited Del Cullum at Town Pond. We learned Town Pond was built in 1653. The dredging is good because we will have a beautiful pond. People made bad choices and put their pets there. For example, the snapper turtles were hurting the swans. I was wondering if the town could put up signs to tell people that they shouldn't put their animals there. Maybe put a place where they can bring their animals. I'm glad we went to Town Pond and learned so much about it. Love, Lily.
And thank you.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, I learned that there is sludge in Town Pond. The workers that were there knew that the sludge is not toxic. They are going to use it for our environment. The second thing I learned was Mr. Cullum showed me one of his treasures that was this milk bottle he found in the pond. It was the deli that was close to my school. The third thing I learned was Mr. Cullum found two koi that don't belong there. They were people's pets. He told me he's finding a new home for them, for the koi. Love, David.
Thank you.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, we walked to Town Pond. Mrs. Everhart and Mr. Cullum taught us that people dump their animals in the pond. Some people also leave their trash there. Can you put dumpsters around the pond so the trash doesn't blow into it don't blow in the pond? I think people need to know more about our beautiful pond. We are lucky to have it and need to take care of it. Thank you for reading our letters. Love, Kendall.
Thank you, Kendall.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, we went to Town Pond on a trip. I learned that Mr. Cullum saved the animal in Town Pond. It is good to stop dredging in Town Pond because there were pond animals like frogs and turtles in there. I can't wait to go to the pond and have a picnic and look for the animal. Love, Tina.
Thank you.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, my class went to Town Pond. I learned that they found a lot of garbage in the pond. Can you put garbage cans close by so people throw their trash away? I also learned that they found treasure like a wagon wheel, 7-Up bottle, and a milk bottle. These are also trash, but from long ago. A third thing we learned was people dump invasive animals in our pond. Could we put up a sign to educate people that this hurts the native animals? Or could we write an article for the newspaper about Town Pond and how to keep it healthy? Thank you for helping Town Pond and whatever you can do. Love, Jake.
Thank you very much.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, we went to meet Mr. Collins at Town Pond. We learned about the turtles found at the town pond. One of them had a red mark on his back. He was not supposed to be in the pond. Mr. Collins also found old bottles. The trip was fun. Thank you for inviting us to your meeting. Love, Samantha.
Thank you.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, our class went to Town Pond. I learned now that the sludge is gone, that over winter the water will freeze more quicker. Can we put up signs that says, stop putting your invasive animals in the pond? This will help the pond stay healthy. I am glad that we got to visit Town Pond and see Mr. Cousin. Love, Evelyn.
Thank you very much.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, we went on a walking trip to Town Pond. I found out that there was animals that didn't even belong, like koi. It was important to stop dredging because the animals in, on, and around were unsafe. The dredging is important because the pond was full of bacteria that shouldn't be there. I hope people will never ever throw animals and garbage that don't belong in our pond or any water in East Hampton. Thank you for staying around the pond. Love, Mila.
Thank you very much.
Dear East Hampton Village Board. Dear East Hampton Village Board, we learned that Town Pond was built in 1653. Then we saw the trash that Mr. Cohen took out. Also, we learned not to dump trash and animals into Town Pond because it is bad for the environment. Thank you for keeping Town Pond safe. Love, Gabriella.
Thank you.
Dear East Hampton Village Board, we went on a field trip to Town Pond, and we are thankful that you dredged our Town Pond. I learned about Town Pond and all the treasures in town. I am so thankful for everything you have done for our environment. Love, Ryder.
Thank you.
This is our last student.
East Hampton Board. Our class went on a field trip. We learned we can save our world by taking out plastic bottles. We also learned people should not dump their animals in the pond. These hurt the native animals who should live there. Thank you for working on Town Pond. Love, Kayla.
Thank you so much. I have to say, you guys all look great. Thanks for dressing up and coming out and talk to us. You did a lot of hard work writing all of these letters and all these recommendations. I think one thing I heard from all of you is that there's a lot of garbage up there. So I think maybe we can put a garbage can up there. So when people are done with their lunch or feeding the ducks or swans, they could put their garbage in the garbage can. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
All right. I think you guys covered it so well. I'm not sure anybody's going to have any questions, but
Mr.
maybe
Mayor,
Hugh. Hugh, do you have a question?
May I say something, Mr. Mayor? Yes, boys and girls, I'm the East Hampton Village historian, and I didn't know some of those facts that you just told us about either the garbage going in there or people's pets. So I'm not trying to give your teacher another job, but wouldn't it be nice if there was an editorial in the papers written by this class, because everybody's not watching this television show right now. So I think these points should be put out in the local press. That's all I have to say.
Would you boys and girls like to do that?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's terrific. Does anybody have any questions for the class?
Great suggestions. Good work. Thank you, Christy, and thank you to the class.
Thank you so much, Rose, and thank you all for having us. This has been a huge highlight to our year, but we are ready for questions, so I hope someone has one because we are prepared. How about I ask them some questions and you guys be super impressed? I hope you have socks on because they're going to knock them off.
All right, we're ready.
All right, boys and girls, where does, was Town Pond a man-made or nature-made pond?
Man-made.
And where does Town Pond drain into? And where does Hook Pond drain into? And why were the snapping turtles eating, why were the snapping turtles attacking the swans? What was high? The sludge. And what was low? The water. And what did we learn about in the winter? What's going to happen now in the winter? Oh, that was so loud. I couldn't even almost hear all of you. Dianara, really nice and loud. Take your mask down. Tell me what's going to happen to Town Pond. The water's going to freeze faster now because we have more water and less sludge. Oh, say it again, Ryder. Take your mask down.
Because the leaves heat up
The
and make it heat.
Very good. The sludge heats up and makes it hot, and then the pond wasn't.
Frozen.
So we couldn't.
Ice skate.
You guys know a lot.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
been studying Town Pond, and we've also been studying the history of East Hampton and the fishing community. So this all fit very nicely into our social studies.
Well, nice job, everybody. Really impressed.
What do you guys say?
I would like to, I would just like to add, Ms. Eberhard, I'm incredibly impressed with your class.
Thank you so much.
They did a absolutely fantastic job today, and they're the ones that are going to be the leaders of this village going forward, so.
That's exactly what we spoke about when we said that this was an important meeting, because I wanted them, one of my goals was for them to know that even though they're little, they still have a voice and that their ideas matter. And it's important for them to share those ideas. So I really appreciate all of your time allowing them to start to get comfortable with this process so that they do take care of our town in the future.
They sure do. They'd be great at this.
Who's going to be mayor someday? Oh, look at that, Mr. Larson. You have some running contention.
All right, I'm ready.
Well, thank you so much. We are going to let you guys get back to your very important meeting, and we really appreciate your time and allowing us to come do this.
Bye, everybody. That was great. Nicely done. All right, we're going to move things around a little bit more. I'd like to see if, is Ann Chazan on from Hamptons?
I am here.
Hey, Ann, how are you?
I am well. Hi.
Thanks for coming on. This is Ann. She's from Hamptons International Film Festival, and we're excited to have her, and she's got some great announcements to make. So it's all yours, Ann.
Great. Well, first I'd like to say this is a very tough act to follow. I'll try to be as adorable as those children were, but I don't think I will be very successful. So, thank you. And thank you for dredging the pond for me as well. So I want to thank Mayor Larson and Marcos for reaching out to the nonprofits in the East Hampton Village and allowing us to make wonderful use of Herrick Park this summer. I hope the slide is up that everyone can see what our plans are for every Wednesday. I'm in a car, so I can't see what's happening. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's on the screen now.
Excellent, excellent. So this is what we are going to be doing every Wednesday night. You can see the schedule there from June 2nd to August 25th. It's a collection of classic family fare with different kinds of things thrown in here and there, like Perfect Storm or Dirty Dancing. And we are going to have pods set up just to try to have a little bit of social distancing. We're going to make something like 60 or 80 squares so people know that their family can sit into one area. And we're also offering the first 2 rows that people can reserve in advance if they would like to be closer to the screen. We've also reached out to all of the local restaurants in the village to provide some sort of a discount or a package that families can pick up and bring to the park while they're enjoying the movies. And we'll also be supplying popcorn. And the movies are free, except if you reserve a pod in one of the front 2 rows. But this is very exciting since we've never been able to do this before. So we really appreciate being able to provide this to our community.
That's great, and we're very excited about doing it. And like you said, we've reached out to all the nonprofits in the village, trying to mend fences where we can to and offer the park. We've reached out to Guildhall, the East Hampton Library, and as you know, the Hamptons International Film Festival. So we're very excited about doing this. And you know, I think I've already reserved my area. So I'm looking forward.
I think you did, yes.
So.
Well, we hope to see you all there. Every time I tell someone, they get so excited. So we're doing a huge campaign. East Hampton Star is our partner in Purist Magazine. So we have a lot of publicity coming around it as well. So thank you very much from all of us. We're really thrilled.
No, it's our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay.
See you at the movies.
Enjoy the meeting. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, next up is Hugh King, who's going to give us a presentation about former Mayor Douglas E. Dayton, who was mayor from 1975 to 1985. And we are dedicating the street that he lived on in his memory.
Okay, Doug Dayton. Well, it's so funny you're just talking about this. When Doug Dayton was the mayor, that's when the village received Herrick Park, 1976. And of course, he also was the mayor when a new building was built for the Department of Public Works. In fact, when he was mayor, they were also talking about, with Bruce Collins, you've heard of him, they were thinking of changing the title from highway superintendent to superintendent of public works. So then Bruce and his men could work on the other projects in the village besides farming them out all the time. He also, when he was the mayor, the village accepted the gift of the Osborne Jackson House, which has been the headquarters of the East Hampton Historical Society, thank heaven, for all these years. The Sea Spray Inn was purchased. The Panago Mill was restored. Christmas tree lights were put on Main Street. The Design Review Board was formed, and they put a tree in Town Pond, which of course is still done today. The one great thing about Mayor Dayton, of course, was if you wanted to see him, you had to see him before 1 o'clock, because 1 o'clock he went down to Munchmore Lane and worked on that garden. And if you ever saw that garden, it was just unbelievable. In fact, there were gardens around Village Hall then. And one personal story, then I'll just tell you about Munchmore Lane and I'll leave. When Loretta was beginning to rescue the gardens at Home Sweet Home, when we got there in 1999, she had to overwinter the dahlia bulbs. They had to be taken out of the ground and put away for the winter. Bob Osborne would do it. So I called up Mr. Dayton. I said, do you think you could do that for us? He says, I'll come down and take a look. So down he comes. He looks around the garden and he says, I'll take the dahlia bulbs. And Loretta says, well, that was nice. I said, are you kidding? If he didn't like this garden, he wouldn't take those dahlia bulbs. And the other thing about him is, you know, I'm not wearing the town crier outfit today. Remember I did with Kenny? Well, you know why? Because when he was down there that day, he says, by the way, you're the town crier, right? And I said, yes. Well, you got the wrong outfit on. He said it was a Revolutionary War character, and he was right. In other words, during the 18th century, they had a town crier because there weren't a lot of newspapers, and a lot of people couldn't read, so the town crier would make announcements. The outfit I wear is from the 19th century. And the last thing is Munchmore Lane. You know, the Mayor Rickenbach lived on Maidstone Lane, a historic name. Kenny Westberg lived on a road that was called Highway Behind the Lots, another historic road. Well, Munchmore Lane is also an historic road. Do you know that E.B. Munchmore had a pharmacy in East Hampton, and he sold it to whites in 1873? He sold it to William White, who then sold it to the Marmons in 1954. So Munchmore Lane goes all the way back to the 19th century. And that's all I got.
That's terrific.
Okay.
Thanks, Hugh.
Okay.
And I know the DPW has already put up the honorary sign on Muchmore, and it looks terrific. Thanks for doing that, Dave. So let's see, next up, we have a proclamation for Kenny Westberg Jr. He recently you'll see later on in our agenda, he's resigning from the planning board, and he's going to be moving to Florida. So we're going to miss him, and he's been a long time planning board member, and before that he was fire chief for I think 3 terms. So we're going to miss him. He's been a great asset to the village, and again, we're going to miss him. So June, could you read the proclamation?
Sure. May 21st, 2021, Certificate of Appreciation to Ken Westberg for his over 12 years of dedicated service to the village of East Hampton, serving on the planning board from 1992 to 1994, and again 2018 to 2021, the Zoning Board of Appeals from 1994 to 2000, and also as a member of the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Kenny, for all your service. All right, we're going to go next, June. We're going to start the public hearings.
Okey doke. Introductory number 1, 2021, a proposed amendment to Chapter 250, Streets and Sidewalks, to increase the cost of an excavation permit, include right-of-way, and prohibit placement of any shrubbery, hedges, trees, vegetation, rock walls, or fences within the village right-of-way.
Jody, do we have any callers?
There are no callers on the line right now.
Any board member? Can I get a motion to close the hearing?
I make a motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing is closed. Next hearing, June.
Introductory number 9, 2021, proposed amendment to Chapter 250, Streets and Sidewalks, to revise and clarify minimum specifications for the construction of curbs and gutters.
Any callers?
There are no callers on the line.
Any board member? Okay, a motion, close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing is closed. Next, June.
Introductory number 10, 2021, a proposed local law authorizing a property tax levy in excess of the limit established in General Municipal Law subsection 3-C.
Callers, Jody.
There are no callers on the line.
Board member. Motion to close.
So moved.
I make- Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing is closed.
Introductory number 11, 2021, proposed amendment to Code Chapter 267-B, Vehicle and Traffic, Beach Parking, to clarify the requirement of beach parking permits for all parking at the village beaches.
Callers, Jody?
There are no callers on the line.
Board members?
I make a motion to close and accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing is closed.
Okay, introductory number 12. Proposed amendment to Code Chapter 267-3, Vehicles and Traffic, Parallel and Angle Parking, to allow for angled parking in specific areas. And in reference to this introductory, we got one written response from a Mr. Horn against the proposal.
Any callers, Jody?
There are no callers on the line.
Any board members?
Yeah, I would like to speak to this, Mr. Mayor. Diagonal parking is not new to the village. It was back in 1948, I have an article from the East Hampton Star where they were complaining that the diagonal parking on Main Street, I believe that it had diagonal parking on Newtown Lane as well, but I'm not sure about that. Complaining that it slowed down traffic. It made it impossible to have deliveries without blocking traffic totally. There were several hearings about that. And then in April 17th, 1953 is when the village passed legislation saying that we could only have parallel parking, getting rid of diagonal parking because of the traffic jams that it created. Going to parallel parking was not particularly popular in the village at that time, but it certainly did free up the traffic. I think that when you look at Newtown Lane, which currently with 2 eastbound travel lanes, that's towards the highway, traffic routinely backs up in the summertime to the middle school. And if we reduce it with angled parking to 1 travel lane in each direction, east and west, every time somebody stops to let somebody in or to let somebody back into traffic, that's going to jam up traffic forever. Anytime somebody wants to make a left turn from the eastbound lane into the Barnes Lane parking lot behind the hardware store, that's going to jam up traffic because they're going to have to be let in by the people coming westbound. I just think that we are inviting absolute traffic gridlock. And that's not even to mention the traffic coming eastbound on Newtown Lane, making a left turn on Main Street, and then wanting to make a left turn onto North Main. Without state permission to put a stop here on red before people enter that intersection from North Main, you're going to have even more gridlock. And I think that we would end up absolutely jammed up with traffic moving nowhere, people having a hard time backing into traffic because you can't see around the car next to you. Now that people have SUVs and you have a smaller car, lower car like mine, I can't see until I'm probably 5 feet out into the travel lane as to whether there are any cars coming or not. There was information in the East Hampton Star saying that when the diagonal parking was removed, there was a reduction in fender bender accidents. And I just think that this is, while we may be gaining 12 parking spaces on Newtown Lane, we're going to be losing how many parking places in the Osborne Lane lot due to the electric car charging stations. I mean, I think we should just leave it as is. And if you want to get a traffic consultant to come in and do car counts and do more of a scientific study on that, I would be in favor of that. But I think to just add 12 spots on Newtown Lane and just jam traffic up is not in the village's best interest. Also, in terms of the Park Place diagonal parking, that's less problematic, but we would have to make Park Place one way. So coming from John Papa's up around by the liquor store would be the only way you'd be able to traverse that lane. The other thing about jamming up Newtown Lane is it would force more traffic onto Dayton Lane and onto Cedar Street. And I just don't see it as being a workable, especially since they got rid of it, 70 years ago.
Anyone else?
I would just echo some of what Tiger has mentioned. And I know we've spoke about this at the discussion in February about angular parking on Newtown. I am also really concerned about the congestion and the stacking of cars that this could possibly create. We already know that traffic is an issue on Newtown Lane, especially around 5 when the school is let out at 3. And I just think that this could possibly exacerbate that problem with the car situation. I also think that people will then know that congestion is an issue on Newtown Lane and start using the residential neighborhood streets such as Osborne Lane, King Street, go down Cooper and so forth to avoid the congestion in the district. I also am concerned about the deliveries, the UPS, FedEx, and so forth, who sometimes, pull over and drop off and pick up packages. I know they're allowed to do it to the front of the building on Newtown right now till 11 per the code. I think that's still in the books, right, Jerry?
It is.
Deliveries, yeah. I don't know if we end up implementing the diagonal parking, we might have to change that, because if there's just one travel lane, that will cause, more gridlock as well. There's also, you see.
It wouldn't have to be changed, because the code says that unless it causes a traffic problem, that's the only time they can double park. So
well, if
double park, most of the deliveries are done. I'll let you finish, Rose. Go ahead.
Yeah, if they double park, then someone, there's no median anymore and there's no 2 lanes. So, it's my understanding that they would have to either go around and go into the other lane of traffic, or just wait until, it's that vehicle's moved.
Well,
there's no traffic lane anymore, correct?
They can double park, so.
Right, and I think that could really cause more traffic and congestion with that. Right now we have 2 lanes on Newtown Lane headed to the light. If we only have one and someone double parks, that seems like that could be problematic. Same with the garbage trucks. There's a garbage truck, that goes down Newtown Lane, picks up the dumpsters behind the old PD. As you probably know, it's Gucci now. And their only access is from Newtown Lane. They can't go from the Rudishan lot, doesn't cut through. So, and that's a big, dumpster. It's one of those, 5 or 6 yard dumpsters. There's 4 or 5 of them behind there. So I think there's lots of logistics. If we are, if it's going to go forward, I would urge you to rethink about implementing it, right now at the height of the season, a week before Memorial Day weekend. I think it would be more prudent to maybe implement this in the off season in September, when we're not at the height of the season for traffic and so forth. We all know how busy it is right now with unprecedented numbers of people out here all the time. If we're going to start something with this much change, it might be wise to do it in September. And as far as the Rudisham, the parking lot plan there, that looks it looks good. I mean, we're going to get 7 more spaces. I'm concerned about some of the spots that are proposed to be diagonal, especially the ones, I believe, in front of the business center there. When you're pulling out, if you're parked diagonal by the business center and John Papa's, it seems like you could have a blind spot there as people are coming around the corner from Main Street into that lot. But that was really my only concern with the proposed parking lot plan for the diagonal there in the lot.
Anyone else?
Yes, I'm excited about the diagonal parking. We have TCOs that are going to be helping with the traffic. I don't think it's going to create so much of a chaos. I'm always in Newtown Lane. I wanted to see a more pedestrian, not as people are going to be wanting to go to different places like Cedar or Maine, and not as much as Newtown, in order to be what we wanted to see: more flowers, more pedestrians, and not as trafficy. I think it's going to be better if we do the diagonal parking. As for garbage trucks, just usually are early in the morning, so I don't think it would be something to worry about. I think it would be great for the village, for the look of Newtown Lane. So I'm all in favor of it. I don't think this lane that we're taking out is always in use. I'm always there, and that lane is always empty. So I'm not worried about that.
Chris?
Hi. First of all, I'm very in favor of trying to make any small type of changes that we can make. And so far, a lot of the board's changes have been very positive. Gaining 7 spots in the back and 13 on Main Street, I think is, an effort to try to get every possible parking space that we can. And I'm also in favor of something that we mentioned from the beginning, is that if it doesn't work, they're just stripes. We can restripe, or we can, take away spaces or modify the spaces if we need to. And the other thing I just like to mention is that people that parallel park on Main Street or Newtown Lane, they take up just as much time and energy taking that lane away as people backing in and out of 2 lanes. And a lot of times it takes 2 lanes because a failed parallel park shuts the whole way down as well. So there's an argument to be made there, but to Trustee Brown's point, I would like to give it a try, but if it doesn't work, we should really have a strong finger on it. And I know the chief of police and Jerry, you're a former police chief. You guys know exactly how the village works. So I think that it's worth giving it a try. I really do.
Thanks, Chris. So just to address some points, Newtown Lane, we're doing a lot of work to beautify it. We've changed the tree surrounds. We've painted the light poles. We are having hanging plants. We're going to have American flags off the poles. We are created outdoor dining. The diagonal parking would be much more conducive for the outdoor dining. If you just look at, for an example, right now in front of Cheetah, they have flower baskets on the edge of the sidewalk. And if you don't park your car right, the passenger can't get out of the car. And we're not going to shut down parking. I'm not in favor of shutting down parking to allow to leave that space and waste parking spaces. Sag Harbor, Southampton Village have done this for years. Everybody loves Sag Harbor, and everybody's going to love Newtown Lane because it's going to shorten up the crosswalk in the middle of the street. It'll be safer. I see no reason to have 2 lanes of traffic. It's like a highway. People want to have a walking pedestrian area, outdoor seating. I'm not really concerned if the traffic backs up to Tigers Road. It doesn't matter to me because it's supposed to be about finding parking and enjoying our village. If you are using Newtown Lane as through road, you're going to have to find another way. Because if you're coming down Newtown Lane, you should be looking for parking. That's my opinion. We have Drew Bennett, who at our last meeting that we talked about this, he had his diagram out. He even said to everybody, no one uses that right lane on Newtown Lane. We have Chief Tracy with 37 years in the police department, who's in favor of trying this. We have the DPW highway superintendent, who's very much in favor of trying this. Prior to me becoming mayor, we did our own study that we funded ourselves. And Tiger, you'll remember this. At our debate, you said to me that Newtown Lane isn't even wide enough to have diagonal parking. And that's not true. Obviously, Drew Bennett, our own engineer, drew it, and it fits. It's going to be okay. I went a little step further, and if Jody, if you can pull up the accident statistics between the last 3 years of accidents on Main Street in Sag Harbor and Newtown Lane, and you'll see there were more accidents on Newtown Lane than there were on Main Street, Sag Harbor, each year for the last 3 years. So to tell me that it's more difficult to back out of a parking spot than it is to parallel park, it's just not true. So I think it's worth a shot. And again, I've said all along, if it doesn't work, we can restripe and go back to what we're doing. But to help our restaurants and help our own village and our shops, to bring more people who are excited about using our downtown and feeling good and walking around, I think this goes a long way in fixing that. So I would like to try it, and those are all my opinions.
Yeah, I would like to make one more point.
Wait,
Mr. Mayor.
I got one more thing, Tiger, about using the star from 70 years ago. Remember, 70 years ago, the Rudishan parking lot didn't even exist. So of course there was problems with deliveries because all deliveries had to be made on Newtown and Main Street. Now, if you go up into the village, you'll see FedEx, UPS, they all use the Rudishan lot as a central hub for their deliveries. And then they wheel their carts to all the stores. And again, the garbage trucks, Rose, they come early in the morning and we can make allowances for that. So I think this is worth trying. I've got nothing but positive feedback, except Tiger's friend, Mr. Horn, is the only one that wrote a negative email. So I would like to go forward with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tiger.
The other point I wanted to make was in terms of the outdoor parking, you're going to be having vehicles pointed right at those diners. And we all know that nobody has ever hit the gas instead of the brake. You know, so you're going to need substantial barriers between the diners and the cars.
Tiger, I realize the scare tactic, but if you look at the statistics from Sag Harbor and Southampton Village, they've had no deaths from this type of thing.
I'm not saying deaths, Jerry. I'm just saying
very rare occurrences.
I mean, you're saying it's just paint, right? And you're right, it is just paint. But it's also, if we jam up the traffic in the village and people stop coming to the village, it's the livelihoods of the store.
That's not going to happen, Tiger. Again, scare tactics are not going to work. Did people stop going to Sag Harbor, Tiger, to shop? No. Did they stop going to Southampton Village to shop? Absolutely not.
Newtown Lane is 65 feet wide. Main Street and Sag Harbor in parts is close to 100.
What does that mean, Tiger? They don't
That means you have more room, Jerry.
Tiger, first of all, lower your voice, calm down. This is nothing but a debate here, okay? Sag Harbor may be wider, but they still don't pass each other when they're stopped waiting. It's still illegal to pass a stopped vehicle waiting for somebody to back out. So just because it's a wider street doesn't mean it's different.
But Jerry, have to go into the oncoming traffic to get around whatever vehicle is being, double parked. That's the
Rose,
issue with
Rose,
diagonal parking.
Rose,
Right now we have a median,
Rose,
that's 8
Rose.
feet and 2 travel lanes.
Rose, it's illegal to pass a car that is stopped. Even now, Rose, you can't cross the double yellow line to pass.
And what I'm saying to you is now more than ever, because there aren't 2 lanes, 2 travel lanes headed to the light on Newtown. People are going to be tempted to do that, and it could be a safety issue. And I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying, and I don't think Tiger is doing this either. This is not scare tactics. This is just legitimate concern, genuine concern for more congestion.
And can we hear what Chief Tracy has to say about this?
One second. I just want to address Rose. Rose, there's only one lane heading the other direction on Newtown Lane.
I realize that. I mean, I work actually, on, as you know, I have an office on Newtown Lane. So I'm in and out of the village all of the time as well. But I am concerned about the congestion. I think, and I love the aesthetics. I love that, we have the flower planters and the hanging pots and the flags and the tree enclosures and so forth. I think all of us are behind those kinds of aesthetically pleasing improvements that we've made. And whether the diagonal parking will be more charming and so forth, is possible. But I'm just also have these other concerns as well. And you have to think about risk versus reward. So I'm wondering, if that's worth, the possibility that it might be difficult to back up, that people won't see a pedestrian who isn't in the crosswalk, which we know happens a lot too. People cross the street without using the crosswalk and so forth. I don't want to beat a dead horse to death. The concerns I have. I also think if you want to try something, I'm reasonable. Let's try something. But to try it a week before Memorial Day weekend, I just think is a lot to do.
But that's not really fair either. We've been talking about this for months. The only reason we're waiting till a week before Memorial Day is because, and it will actually be longer than that. It'll be after Memorial Day before it's done. We have to wait for the right temperature for the paint. That's as simple as it is. Like, you just can't put.
And the asphalt will be fine in September if you want to start it then. Where there's less people to try.
September doesn't work, Rose, because we want the outdoor dining. This is going to help the outdoor dining. So we're not gonna, like you said, we're not gonna beat this to death. We've got, everybody's given their opinions. Drew Bennett gave us his opinion last time. I don't think we need to hear that again. Chief Tracy gave us his opinion last time, and so did DPW. So I think if no one has anything further, I think we could just move to a vote.
Okay.
All right, can I get a motion to close the hearing?
So move.
Is there a second? This is just to close the hearing.
Okay.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's just to close the hearing. Aye.
Right.
Opposed to closing the hearing? Anyone? Okay. The hearing is closed. All right, that concludes our public hearings. Do we have any public comment out there, Jody?
Yes, we have one caller on the line. I can patch them through.
Caller, you're on the line.
Oh, hi. Mayor, this is Andy Goldstein. I was listening to the debate on the head-in parking, and the one thing that living here has taught me is that the degree of driver negligence is unsurpassed, and I would urge you to possibly have a couple of the traffic enforcement people there just to sort of be walking and seeing. Maybe they can, backing out of a space, could cause an accident. Just to see that they have your enforcement people there to sort of monitor it and possibly help to prevent things. Obviously you've done a lot of study with this, and I think the motivations are good. And I think I was here when there was parallel head-in parking, and it was fine, but it's sort of a different time. And I just think that the one factor we don't have is the drivers that drive these streets, who can be negligent. So that's all I would ask, that you just do have some of the young kids who would do the traffic enforcers to help monitor the situation.
That's a great idea, Andy, and that's exactly what they do in Sag Harbor. And that's certainly, Chief Tracy and I have talked about that. And Sandra, before you came on, Sandra was actually saying that's the plan for this summer. The TCOs would help people in and out of parking spots. I mean, they do it now. They do it with people trying to parallel park. So that's definitely the plan. Chief, did you want to say something? I see you came on.
Yeah, just with regards to that last point, that's exactly what we're going to have the TCOs doing this summer. We are shifting away from them being primarily ticket writers. I mean, it's funny, back when you and I started, the traffic control officer position never controlled traffic. They did everything but that. So exactly. We started changing it over last year, as many people noticed, at the exit to Park Place. We had officers stationed there directing traffic. The public loved it. You could finally get out of the parking lot. And then also at the main Newtown light, the congestion there, we had those young men and women out there. Public loved it. So you're going to see them out in the road and facilitating the movement of traffic. And the ticket writing will continue, but we are refocusing their efforts.
Great. Thank you. All right, let's move into resolutions. June?
Number 1, approve claim vouchers for the month of May.
Need a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 2, approve fund warrants as listed, general, number 52, number 55, and number 56, capital, number 57, trust, number 51, and LoSAP, number 53 and 54.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 3, approve budget transfer schedule number 6, reference number 12, dated May 18th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 4, approve departmental reports.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Adopt as local law number 11-2021, introductory number 8-2021, hereby amending Chapter 250 to increase the cost of an excavation permit, include right-of-way, and prohibit placement of any shrubbery, hedges, trees, vegetation, rock walls, or fences within the village right-of-way.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 6, adopt as local law number 12-2021, introductory number 9, hereby amending Chapter 250 to revise and clarify minimum specifications for the construction of curbs and gutters.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carried.
Adopt as local law number 13-2021, introductory number 10-2021, a local law authorizing a property tax levy in excess of the limit established in General Municipal Law subsection 3-C.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 8, adopt as local law number 14-2021, introductory number 11-2021, hereby amending Chapter 267, Vehicles and Traffic, Beach Parking, to clarify the requirement of beach parking permits for all parking at the village beaches.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 9, adopt as local law number 15-2021, introductory number 12, hereby amending Chapter 267-3, Vehicles and Traffic, parallel and angle parking in reference to Newtown Lane and the Rudishan lot.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Let's just do a roll call. Sandra?
Yes. In favor.
Chris?
Yes.
And I'm in favor. Tiger?
No.
Rose?
Opposed.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Rose, you were stepped on.
No.
No. It passed and carried.
Number 10, notice for a public hearing to be held on June 18th, 2021 for introductory number 13-2021, a proposed amendment to Chapter 208-6, Parks and Recreation Regulations for the use of the park, to remove the requirement of applications for the use of Herrick Park to be filed with the East Hampton School District.
So move.
I have a question about this before we vote on it. What do we do if the school has a conflict with what someone else wants to do? Don't we get them to clear through this somehow, or is this for a period of time, or how does that work?
Well, we're going to approve all the permits for the park, and we'll have the school schedule. So we'll know if there's any conflicts.
Okay.
Obviously, the
Mr. Mayor,
school.
if I could add,
School will get the priority, obviously.
yeah, and if I could add as well, this is just a remnant of when the school had a lease, a very long-term lease on the park. This was enacted to facilitate that and recognize their rights under that lease. That lease no longer exists.
Thanks,
Okay.
Vinny.
Yep.
All right, so can I get a motion there?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Passed and carried.
Number 11, accept Ken Westberg's resignation as a member of the Planning Board effective May 15th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 12, appoint Robert Caruso, member and chairman of the Planning Board. And that would be to complete Ken Westberg's term to expire July 2023.
So moved.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 13, rescind resolution number 40-2021 made on April 16th, 2021, which approved the sale of surplus 2013 Ford Ambulance 9116, VIN number 1FDXE4FS8DDA3964 for $20,700 to New Jersey Mobile Healthcare and approve its sale by online auction.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 14, adopt resolution 41-2021, a financial and fund balance policy.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 15, adopt resolution number 42-2021, wire transfers and online banking policy.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 16, remove Peter Fallon from the part-time paramedic list as per Chief Tracy's April 29th memo.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Whoops. Number 17, employ Lorraine McKay as Senior Office Assistant effective June 16th, 2021 at an annual base salary of $50,000.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 18, employ Drew Smith as lifeguard lieutenant captain and assistant beach manager at $30 per hour.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 19, employ 2021 seasonal traffic control specialists and traffic control officers as listed in Chief Tracy's memos dated May 7th.
So move.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 20, employ 2021 seasonal police officers Matthew Griffiths at $23.50 hourly and Megan Harris at $22.50 hourly as per Chief Tracy's May 7th memo.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Passed and carried.
Number 21, employ 2021 seasonal paramedics and critical care EMTs as listed in Chief Tracy's May 7th memo.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 22, employ Brendan Regan to perform seasonal beach maintenance at $42 per hour.
So move.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Aye.
Number 23, approve agreement with Tesla Inc. for the installation of charging stations at 8 Osborne Lane.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Aye.
Number 24, approve Lincoln IT as computer consultants.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 25, accept Lincoln IT's proposal to perform an assessment of the village computer systems.
This will be coming out of that Homeland Security grant?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, we believe we can get it right out of there, Tiger. Yep. Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 26, approve change order number 1 on the Herrick Park IA on-site wastewater treatment system project in the amount of $1,250.
So moved.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 27, approve $20,000 payment to Police Officer Matthew Kachanos as per settlement agreement in PERB proceeding.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 28, notice for request for proposals for the town pond bulkhead top cap replacement project with a due date of June 22nd at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 29, notice for request for proposals for the Herrick Park restroom renovation with a due date of Tuesday, June 29th, 2021 at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 30, notice for a request for proposals for the Georgia Beach facility renovation with a due date of Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021 at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
Before we vote on this, what is the scope of this restoration? Mr. Mayor?
Marcos. Jan Marcos. Marcos.
Sorry, Tiger. Which one again? Sorry.
The Georgia Beach renovation.
The Georgia Beach.
Yeah.
This is includes the outdoor painting, a little bit of roof work. The garage doors need a complete replacement. It's nothing on the interior, Tiger. It's just the exterior.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Aye.
Number 31, notice for request for proposals for the Village Hall electrical upgrade with a due date of Thursday, June 24th, 2021, 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
I need a second. Somebody needs a second. Sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Got it. Passed and carried.
Number 32, approve the dissolution of the Outdoor Dining Committee.
So moved.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 33, resolution number 38-2021 to amend the 2020-2021 budget to increase estimated revenue and appropriations be $276,781.80 for expenditures funded by Employee Benefit Liability Fund.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 34, adopt resolution 43-2021 in reference to affordable housing and 104 Newtown Lane.
And can I ask what this is about? This is the old cleaner property?
Yeah, so what this is about, and it should be workforce housing, but there's a builder that has come to us and has proposed a building that was passed, a building renovation there that was passed by the DRB last week. And in order to meet the flow rate for the building, we have to approve these TDR credits. Is that, I'll let Vinny talk to you about it. I might not be saying it correctly. So Vinny, could you just clear that up? In case I misspoke?
Sir, no, you did a great job, man. So really what it is
You always say that. Thank you.
well, not always, but always publicly. So what it is it allows this first step in the process toward obtaining a transfer of development rights, so that outfall or development rights that attach to one parcel will be transferred to this parcel, and the parcel from whence it came will either be sterilized or its development potential is decreased. And the board, the county handles that through an exchange where they have all of these, and they make sure that ultimately, even if the transfer is approved, it doesn't result in any net loss in any one area in terms of protecting the water quality and the groundwater, et cetera. Does that answer your question, or?
Yeah, partly. How big will this facility be?
It's the same footprint, just adding a second floor, 2 apartments on the second floor.
So how many apartments in total?
Just 2 apartments.
Just 2
I'm sorry,
apartments?
2 bedrooms, I think, Mr. Mayor.
2-bedroom apartment, 1 apartment, 2 bedrooms, Tiger.
Okay.
I could clarify. It's 792 square foot apartment. It would be 2 bedrooms.
And the first floor would still be commercial?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll actually be, that building will actually be coming into conformity, and it'll be retail now instead of what it is now. Correct, Billy?
That is correct. It's currently a non-conforming use, and it's proposed to be a conforming use.
Yeah,
And
so I think it's going to be a big hit. It'll be a retail, and then he has his office, and then upstairs is a workforce 2-bedroom apartment. So I think we're checking all the boxes there, which is great. And the building's facade, like I said, was approved by the DRB. It's going to look terrific. It's going to have a brick facade on the front to match the Cavanaro building across the street, and then stucco on both ends. It's going to look very nice. So,
Tiger, this is the TDR program that the town administers through the.
Right. I know the TDR is built.
Okay. That's all.
I like this project too, because even though it's only one, it's one at a time. So again, it's hard to change over a lot of these buildings, but we have the opportunity here to at least get this one. So I think this is a big success.
Yeah, I agree.
Could I ask that we be informed about these things in advance rather than having to ask questions at the meetings? Can you just let us know what's going on in these things before we get to the meeting?
We'll do the best we can. All right, so I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
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 Passed and carried.
Number 35, approve the 2-year contract with Class Act Maintenance to clean the restrooms at Main Beach, 2 Mile Hollow Beach, and Georgia Beach, as per April 15th, 2021 bid specifications.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 36, notice to bidders for shuttle service at no cost to the public or the village, with the bid opening to be held on Monday, June 14th, 2021 at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
What is this for?
Okay, so this
think
is
resolution.
the circuit, the free ride.
Okay.
The village had a contract with them to use 6 or store 6 carts in the long-term lot and then use the electricity there. We looked at the contract, which expired 2 days ago, and we ran the numbers, and the village contract was collecting $1,500 a year from them to use those spots and the electric. And then we ran the numbers, and it's costing the village $3,000 in electric. So this is similar to the Chase Bank parking lot contract. This does not make any sense. We're funding half of Free Ride's fuel. So, and in the meantime, there's a new company that approached me. They just opened in Sag Harbor, and they want a similar deal to what Free Ride's getting. Of course, why wouldn't they? So what we're going to do is put it out to bid and only have one service that can use the parking lot. So that's the plan.
Okay.
All right. So can I get was there a motion, Tiger? Did you make a motion?
I made a
Sandra
motion.
made a motion. I need a second.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried, and I think that concludes our meeting. We are going to go into executive session to talk about real estate. And if for any reason we need to come back, I will alert the media. So can I get a motion to close this meeting?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting closed. Thank you. See you in executive session.
Yep.